Hello, my name is Jacques Chevalier. This video clip is about the theoretical foundations of PAR, the acronym for Participatory Action Research. The first observation in this regard is that PAR is not a distinct theory or methodology. It's more like an umbrella term or a big tent that welcomes a wide range of practices and schools of thought. The diversity of methods used and range of views that are put forward within the tent can be confusing. Most contributions, however, converge around principles of humanism and its opposition to positivism. Advocates of PAR take issue with the overreaching claims of hard science and the wall it builds between objects and technology on one side, and all that is profoundly human in the advancement of knowledge and society on the other side. Instead, PAR practitioners pay attention to subjective experience, interpersonal relations, and social life. They also make room for people other than experts in the production of knowledge. What makes PAR unique within the humanist tradition, however, is its constant effort to connect the three pillars evoked in the acronym. The first pillar is participation, with its commitment to life in society. The second pillar is action, based on experience and experimentation. And the third is research, towards the production of new knowledge. Admittedly, integrating these three aspects of PAR is easier said than done. One problem is that none of these concepts are as straightforward as they may seem. For instance, when it comes to participation, some proponents of PAR go for the strict minimum, people contributing data through questionnaires, interviews, and focus groups. The term participation becomes practically meaningless. But even when taken seriously, participation may have various meanings. For some, it can be an invitation for people to partake equally in all project activities. All parties are co-inquirers and actors collaboratively making decisions on all steps of the process. Others take a different view, where each partner makes a distinct and complementary contribution to achieving shared goals. This is the case when academics invest much of their time in the research component, while actors in the field focused their energy on other project activities. Despite their differences, there's one thing that tends to be taken for granted in both the co-inquiry model and the partner model. All participants rally around a common plan and form a community united by a single project. While this assumption may hold in certain contexts, real practice often involves another kind of participation, one where rules of engagement are considerably more complex and not simply about a single project. Collaborative journeys can bring together different people with motives and goals of their own. When that happens, each party joins the initiative with working terms, conditions, and relationships of their own. Multiple projects interlink, if only for a while. For instance, social actors may seek to address poverty issues, which happen to be conflict-ridden, while academics seek to promote a particular theory of conflict management and related methods. Each party conducts its own activities, some of which converge through collaborative work. This is another form of participation, one that tends to occur more often than is realized. The concept of action in support of social change can follow divergent paths as well. The basic orientation of PAR theory and practice is towards collective action for the common good. However, there's no consensus about the way that practitioners define the scope and depth of the transformation they're aiming for. Three broad traditions and their many variants have shaped the history of PAR in this regard. The first tradition goes back to the work of Kurt Lewin. It revolves around the exercise of what is called instrumental reason, with its pragmatic focus on organizational learning and rational problem solving, especially in the workplace. The second tradition involves group adaptations of talk therapy, trying to work through the role of the human psyche in shaping social behavior. The focus is on the psychosocial dimension of expressive reason, directed towards awareness building and strengthening interpersonal relationships. A third tradition promotes counter-hegemonic thinking and action, inspired by the principle of Habermasian, Freirean, feminist, or socialist theory. The focus is on the emancipatory dimension of critical thinking and communication in the pursuit of social justice and radical democracy. We are firmly committed to deep social change and the counter-hegemonic tradition of PAR. However, we also try to bridge differences in traditions and related methods and draw from what each approach has to offer. This means exercising judgment regarding which dimension, instrumental, expressive, or emancipatory, apply best in a given situation. We choose the approach and tools that are appropriate for the situation at hand. The concept of research is also a subject of debate. Competing views on how research should be conducted cover the entire spectrum of theories of scientific knowledge involving humans. But the meaning of doing research also revolves around the kind of investigation that's being conducted. In a nutshell, PAR can accommodate and support three forms of methodical inquiry. Practitioners may choose to investigate and analyze a situation for diagnostic purposes, that is, understanding a real-life situation and coming up with solutions. Alternatively, they can do evaluative studies and assess the results of a planned intervention once the project is over. Or they can strive to produce new knowledge in a given area, which is what scientific research is all about. All three forms of inquiry involving humans, diagnostic, evaluative, and scientific, can complement each other, and they can use similar investigative tools. Having said that, they are not the same and should not be lumped together. They reflect distinct goals, and the weight assigned to each may vary according to circumstances and needs. The research dimension of PAR takes on a different coloring in each case. PAR initiatives can differ from each other on many fundamental points, including how participation, action, and research are defined within a broadly humanistic approach to science. All the same, they all seek to advance sound knowledge and methodical action in real-life settings. They also take up the challenge of reconnecting the art of systematic inquiry with authentic participation and meaningful action. This calls for novel ways of doing research, doing it with people instead of for them or about them. The problem is that mainstream science dealing with humans is not designed for that. Conventional methods are not meant to help people interact mindfully with others and with the world they live in. The assumption is that tools and methods are purely instrumental, that is, neutral with respect to ongoing debates in theory and social history. Our approach to the tools and techniques of PAR adopts a different perspective on what methods are about, a perspective that is more in line with the Sanskrit expression Upeya Kaushalya, which means skill or cleverness in means. The idea of skillful means is used in Buddhist traditions to refer to the careful use of questions and actions to help people on their road to greater compassion and wisdom. In our practice, these skillful means form an integral part of a living inquiry, where tools and methods are reconciled with what we are and long to be. To paraphrase Gandhi, the way we carry out research and the means we use along the way reflect the transformation we seek. PAR seeks change in the world and starts with change in the world of inquiry. This principle is reflected in our book and companion handbook, in the attention we bring to the use and development of a wide range of tools and methods other than questionnaires, interviews, and focus groups. The novel tools and methods we propose and illustrate have their own conceptual foundations and history. They are reflexive, rigorous, and dialogical all at once. And they help both understand the world and act on it. Our emphasis is on creating and using skillful means to mesh the process of knowledge making with real-life experimentations and the ideals of social justice and democracy. The goal is to support a careful action learning process based on abilities to think and act carefully with rigor, combined with a genuine caring for expressions of difference and solidarity in social history.